Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge, etc. Jai Hind. Historical events of 16th January, the journey through time of 16th January 2025, Thursday. Today is that is 16th January, highlight in history. 1605, the first edition of El Ingenio Hidalgo Don Quixote de la Mancha, Book 1 of Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes is published in Madrid, Spain. 1707. The Scottish Parliament ratifies the Act of Union, paving the way for the creation of Great Britain. 1716. King Philip V of Spain promulgates the Nueva Planta decree of the Principality of Catalonia, abolishing the Catalan institutions and its legal system, being replaced by those of the Castile, thus putting an end to Catalonia as separate state and becoming a province of the new French-style Kingdom of Spain. 1757, forces of the Maratha Empire defeat a 5,000-strong army of the Durrani Empire in the Battle of Narela. 1780, American Revolutionary War, Battle of Cape St. Vincent. 1786, Virginia enacts the Statute for Religious Freedom authored by Thomas Jefferson. 1809, Peninsular War. The British defeat the French at the Battle of La Coruna. 1847, westward expansion of the United States. John C. Fremont is appointed governor of the new California Territory. 1862, Hartley Colliery disaster. 204 men and boys killed in a mining disaster, prompting a change in UK law which henceforth required all collieries to have at least two independent means of escape. 1878, Russo-Turkish War, 1877 to 78, Battle of Philippopolis, Captain Alexander Burago with a squadron of Russian Imperial Army dragons liberates Plovdiv from Ottoman rule. 1883, the Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act, establishing the United States Civil Service, is enacted by Congress. 1900, the United States Senate accepts the Anglo-German Treaty of 1899, in which the United Kingdom renounces its claims to the Samoan Islands. 1909, Ernest Shackleton's expedition finds the magnetic South Pole. 1913, Indian mathematician Srinivasa Ramanujan writes his first letter to G. H. Hardy at Cambridge, stating without proof various formulae involving integrals, infinite series, and continued fractions, beginning a long correspondence between the two as well as widespread recognition of Ramanujan's results. 1919, Nebraska becomes the 36th state to approve the 18th Amendment to the United States Constitution. With the necessary three-quarters of the states approving the amendment, provision is constitutionally mandated in the United States 1 year later. 1920, the League of Nations held its first council meeting in Paris, France. 1921, the Marxist left in Slovakia and the Transcarpathian Ukraine holds its founding congress in Lubusna. 1942, the Holocaust. Nazi Germany begins deporting Jews from the Lodz ghetto to Chełmno extermination camp. 1942, crash of TWA Flight 3, killing all 22 abroad, including Prime Minister Carol Lombard. 1945, World War II, Adolf Hitler moves into his underground bunker, the so-called Fuhrer bunker. 1959, Austral Linnaeus Arias Flight 205 crashes into the Atlantic Ocean near Astor Piazzolla International Airport in Mar del Plata, Argentina, killing 51. 1969, Czech student Jan Palach commits suicide by self-immolation in Prague, Czechoslovakia, in protest against the Soviets crashing of the Prague Spring the year before. 1969, space race. Soviet spacecraft Soyuz 4 and Soyuz 5 performed the first ever docking of crewed spacecraft in orbit, the first ever transfer of crew from one space vehicle to another, and the only time such a transfer was accomplished with a spacewalk. 1979, Iranian Revolution. The last Iranian Shah flees Iran with his family for good and relocates to Egypt. 1983, Turkish Airlines Flight 158 crashes at Ankara Esenboga Airport in Ankara, Turkey, killing 47 and injuring 20. 1991, coalition forces go to war with Iraq, beginning the Gulf War. 1992, El Salvador officials and rebel leaders signed the Chapultepec peace accords in Mexico City, Mexico, ending the 12-year Salvadoran civil war that claimed at least 75,000 lives. 1995, an avalanche hits the Icelandic village Suðuvík, destroying 25 homes and burying 26 people, 14 of whom died. 2001, Second Congo War. Congolese President Laurent Desire Kabila is assassinated by one of his own bodyguards in Kinshasa. 2001, US President Bill Clinton awards former President Theodore Roosevelt a posthumous Medal of Honor for his service in the Spanish-American War. 2002, War in Afghanistan. The UN Security Council unanimously establishes an arms embargo and the freezing of assets of Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda, and the remaining members of the Taliban. 2003, the Space Shuttle Columbia takes off for mission STS-107, which would be its final one. Columbia disintegrated 16 days later on re-entry. 2006, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is sworn in as Liberia's new president. She becomes Africa's first female elected head of state. 2011, Syrian Civil War. The Movement for a Democratic Society (TBDM) is established with the stated goal of reorganizing Syria along the lines of democratic confederalism. 2012, the Mali War begins when Tuareg militias start fighting the Malian government for independence. 2016, 33 out of 126 freed hostages are injured and 23 killed in terrorist attacks in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso on a hotel and a nearby restaurant. 2017, Turkish Airlines Flight 6491 crashes into a residential area near Manos International Airport in Kyrgyzstan, killing 39 people. 2018, Myanmar police opened fire on a group of ethnic Rakhine protesters, killing 7 and wounding 12. 2020, the first impeachment of Donald Trump formally moves into its trial phase in the United States Senate. 2020, the United States Senate ratifies the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement as a replacement for NAFTA. Thank you very much for your patience.